Hey everybody, let me know how the sound's coming through. This stream got rebooted, so let me know. This is an A-side match. These guys are in the final four on the A side of this third annual Prine Classic. Nick KRUGER, solid player. It's good to see him playing at this high level again. He's playing Blake Baker. The winner of this will be playing the winner of Stephen Holm and Chris Rodriguez for the hot seat. Got a little funky on the four here. He's going to have to force something here. Looks like he's back cutting this. He just wants to hit it flat, center ball, to make sure his cue ball gets past the side pocket on the opposite side. Doesn't want to hammer it. Yeah, just like that. Great shot. Now the 5 to the 6. 6 goes in this right side pocket, so I like to see him get shape to this ball. Even if he plays to the bottom side, like in this area, he can play a really good safety instead of forcing to get to the other side of the 6. But he's wanting to get out, I guarantee it. So, and that's not going to work. Yep. Giving Blake opportunity. That's the first mistake for Nick in the match. Wasn't easy either way. I think he was just trying to run into the 9-6. I mean, he might have hit that a little flatter than he wanted. He may have been trying to split between the 9-10, but unique. I don't know where your pumpkin is. I thought you took it. Nice, Chad. You heading down to Legacy to jump on the excessive English setup, which is a great setup, by the way. I was commentating some matches yesterday. I love that setup. Wow. Ball in hand. Blake shot it kind of fast, missed the 6 ball. Couple early errors here, unforced errors by these guys. And a third. That is just crazy. That's the first game of the first match of the day. That'll do that to you. Both these guys just made, I mean, literally the safety from Blake on the opening shot was a pretty poor safe. Nick had a chance to get out and take control, and then Nick scratches, and then Blake misses with ball in hand, and then Nick scratches again. That's just uncharacteristic of these players. These guys are solid. You can go through whole matches without seeing these guys make that many mistakes. So it's crazy to see it happen that many times in the first game. And he scratches on the break and absolutely crushes this break. Makes 3 balls. Everything's wide open, and Blake's starting with ball in hand. That's never a recipe for success. Yeah, but March doesn't really have the pumpkin feel. So you're going to need to find a different comfort animal to bring this time. And then we can play for it. Yeah, Nick's going to be pretty frustrated after that. After that first rack, he had the frustration, and then for this to happen, it's pretty crazy. see Excessive English jumped into the chat here, or into the streaming or the commentating. Says BK's on, but I think that's just how the profile's set, so it might be Chad. See once he gets the mics and everything rolling. Yeah. Blake's taking a 2-0 lead with the break. That's brutal. Race to 8, though. I mean, it's not the longest of races, but, you know, the B-side's a race to 6, so this would be pretty crushing if this was on the B-side, but having a couple extra games there gives you a little bit of time, and especially in alternate break format, you have a chance to get to the table. You're not just going to be sat for multiple racks, so. Yeah, it looks like Stephen Holm and Chris Rodriguez got started. They're in the first rack uh, on table 6. They're in the front at Legacy. I'll try to keep an eye on that match. Let you guys know some scores. Oh man, it's a good break. You got the clusters with the 5, 6, 7. So your transition from the 3 to the 5 isn't going to be the cleanest. Like what he's doing there. I mean, a lot of people would play the 1 and then they try to get to the side rail over here. And you know, he may still do that, but you need to get pretty perfect to get backside on the 3. And then even if you're backside on the 3 here, you're still having to force a shot to get up in there to be able to get around to the 5 and try to come through that window and run into the 6. But if he comes up table to the center, he's leaving himself a natural cut, so he's not having to do a ton forcing shape. All right. It's the shot of the rack right here. And oh my gosh, he hit that perfect. Hit that absolutely perfect. As simple as that looked, that was not simple. A little bit outside and had to run into that 7 ball. He didn't want to bump into the 6 and move the 6 over to the rail and leave that in a funky spot. What a great shot that was. Typically, Evo has a replay feature. Drag and click and save the. Oh, he got a little funny here. He should be okay, but I think he stunned over a little more than he wanted to. Has a replay feature that we could replay and watch that shot back, but I think when it was being set up for this tournament, some of the settings may not have got set, so there's no replay feature right now. But that is a thing in the Evo world. You'll see it. You'll see it on other streams when there's other tournaments and stuff here at Legacy or any other Evo streams you watch. Taking a 3-0 lead early in this match. That's big. Big, big. Dominic Daniels is on the hill against Jaime Lechuga, 5-2, race to 6 on the B side. Chris Rodriguez, Stephen Holm. Stephen Holm is up 1-0. Nick crushes the break again. Oh my gosh, did that cue ball get kicked in? Oh wow. Man, if it can go wrong, it's going wrong. Crushed the break again, planted the cue ball to the center of the table, and then it just gets kicked into the pocket. I think we've all been there. You just feel like you ran over a dog or something on the way to the pool hall. Feel like you can't do anything right. Yeah, against a player like Blake, that's it's gonna hurt. Got some other matches going. You got Eric Vargas and Stan Trango. Doesn't look like they're keeping score through the digital pool. They're just probably keeping score on the beads. So I can't give you an update on that score. Uh, Matt Van Claveren is playing Will Totten. Will just finished a match beating Jeffrey Jimenez. And this is a B-side match. And Matt is up 2-0, race to 6. Stephen Folan is playing Jason Jackson and is up 2-0, race to 6. And it's going to be 4-0 Blake with the break in a second here. Got a little funny. It's hard to tell from this angle if he can bite into that 7 enough to not clip the 10. Um, yeah, I think he can. Yeah, but it's okay. He clipped the left side of that 10 ball, so it laid out pretty good for him. Blake's feeling it. Had 2 unforced errors in that first rack, but still got fortunate enough to get the win after Nick made the last error in the mat or in the rack, and then it's kind of been downhill from there for Nick. Hasn't really had anything going for him here. Chris Rodriguez is down 1-0 to Stephen Holm, but he's on the 8 with a natural shot to the 9, so favor him to get out here and tie it up 1-1. Jaime and Dominic are in a safety battle in their game. Dominic's on the hill, just played safe, so that match is still going. Does Blake come out with a shot here? All right. Makes the ball. Doesn't really have an offensive shot. I'm assuming he'll probably send this one ball up table and have the cue ball come down this way, or he'll separate them, go the opposite way with it. Oh, he banked that ball. I didn't even think it'd get by there. Yeah. Well, all right. He's out here making fool of me too, so don't feel bad, Nick. One good little cross bank, and he's dead in line for another breaking run. Oh, what a disgusting individual. It's trying to split through the 3-5 like that. Good. Smooth that ball in. Yep, good to the 5. Blake's playing so good right now. This is one of those spots where, like, normally I'd be explaining, like, oh, you want to make sure and get on the correct side of this 6, for this reason or that reason. But sometimes I just feel like if he has an open shot, even if he's on the wrong side, it doesn't matter. He's going to force it and get shape. He plays at a little bit of a quicker pace than Nick does. You haven't got to see Nick play much. And if you don't know Nick, um, don't let the score here fool you. Nick is a player. He plays super strong. Very seasoned players, played for years. Another one of the Canadian contingents that come down, and he's played all over. So he's got game. So Blake will stay in that mode where he's not going to want to give Nick that chance that he's just waiting for. Yeah, taking his time, giving this shot the respect it deserves. Wow, what a great shot. He hits that center ball. Most people, if they would have just tried to smooth that ball in, they would probably scratch in the side. But when he hits it with pace like that, he'll come back and forth, biting thick into, and he misses the 8. Shot it fast. Finding new ways to make a fool out of me, Blake. I don't like it. But Nick has a chance here. Chance to get on the board with the break. But what I was saying is when you're playing that 6 ball like that, you're hitting it a little thick, and if you hit it with speed, with power, the cue ball is going to deflect off more, which takes away the side pocket. That's why he was able to punch that ball in and not worry about the side pocket. Yeah, nice shot. Nick's getting on the board with the break. There's a pretty big unforced error by Blake there. I'm sure he realizes he got down and shot it pretty fast, so probably won't do that moving forward. He'll tighten that up. And here's the thing: we've all seen how Nick's breaking. Both his breaks, he absolutely crushed. And if he hadn't scratched, like that last one, the cue ball got booted in. If he hadn't scratched, I mean, those are tables he's going to run out on. And Blake knows that. Nick knows that. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Nick try to seize the moment and get the momentum in his favor here. One ball went in. That's unfortunate. But look at that break. Just made 4 balls on the break. Everything's wide open. If that one ball hadn't went into the pocket and had sat up down here, he'd be out for sure. But now he's got to come with a tester right out the gate. And in other news, Stephen Holm just makes the 10 to go up 2-1 against Chris Rodriguez. And Jaime Lechuga and Dominic Daniels are still 5-2. They've been in the safety battle for some time now. Pretty sure Blake and Nick have put together 3 or 4 racks while they've been still on this one game, but they're both fighting for it. I don't usually root for players. I root for good matches. And I root for players sometimes, but I want to see Nick smooth this ball in and get out. Yeah. And it gives him and he called the ball. He just didn't call it off the 10. Good thing it's call pocket, not call shot. Gave the little courtesy hand wave of, I know I got fortunate there, but still going to try to get out on you. Great shot. Jaime ended up getting that last game, so it's 3-5. That match continues on. I don't think I need to worry about a commentator's curse at this point. Nick's going to go up or get another game to close it up a little bit. And then Blake will be breaking, I believe. Yeah, there you go. Both these guys are crushing the break. Nick's break's been crazy good. If those cue balls wouldn't have got kicked in on those first two, it'd definitely probably be a little bit different of a match right now. Got pretty fortunate in that last one, though. Hit the two a little thick. 10 helped him out, but then he finished. Made a great shot on the 5, so to get to the 6. Oh, it's going to. Oh, man, that one ball saved him. Almost got kicked in there. Crush the break. Cue ball's coming down towards the pocket. Gets kicked around a little bit. I'm assuming he's going to bank the one out of here and just freeze him. Yeah. That doesn't look good for Nick. Just jumped over Chris Rodriguez, Stephen Holmes. Stephen Holmes 2-1. Chris just tried to play a safety on the 1. Ended up leaving Stephen an open shot. He's got an open table, so we'll see what he does with it. God, what a great shot. And he's going to leave Blake a shot, though. Good try. See if Blake gets out here. I'm curious. I think we're going to see Blake slow down just a little bit to make sure he doesn't make one of those critical errors like he did in the last rack. He's not going to play slow. He's just going to give it that extra practice stroke, the extra little look, just to make sure he's cinching every one of these balls. Once again, for anybody tuning in late, Final Four on the A side is Blake Baker and Nick KRUGER here, and Stephen Holm and Chris Rodriguez playing on the other table. And the winners of those two matches play each other for the hot seat in the Harold Prine Classic, third annual Harold Prine Classic. Take a look in the top left of your screen. You'll see a bunch of sponsors scrolling through. It's all those people, all those sponsors are all pretty much from the pool community. and they're just wanting to be a part of a good thing like this and try to help move pool forward. So give them props, give them credit. Blake's getting out over here. Um, Steven got a little funky on a ball against Chris and ended up playing a safety that didn't pan out. And Chris is up running out. He just made a good shot and hit it kind of funky and got pretty fortunate and come down for the 8. Got a good leave. It's like he's chuckling a little bit. Gave the courtesy hand wave, so he's trying to get out to tie it up 2-2. Yeah, good shot. Blake's getting up 5-2 here. For another break and run. So Nick's going to come up. He's going to try to return the favor. All right, Chris Rodriguez gets out, ties it up 2-2. And Stephen Holmes break now, and then Dominic Daniels finishes the match against Jaime Lechuga, so he's moving on. Nick's been crushing the breaks. This is his first dry break of the match. It's a pretty clustered up table there, but Blake can work this out. Wow, he got like a rotation away of the cue ball from clipping himself here and not having an open shot at the 3. But he's good. He just got to draw back to play the 4 on the opposite side. Great shot. He'd like to come a little more because at this point he's going to have to work the cue ball down table and back. If he hits this with just a little bit of center ball, he can punch this down off the rail and come back up this direction. He could even play with a little bit of right hand English and come off and come this direction too. Oops. So we'll see. Oh, weird. Yeah, I played that a little funny, but got a good little bump on the 5. So he'll be able to play the 5 on the side, just drive forward into the 7, move the 7 closer to that side rail over there, and have a cut on the 6. Yeah, he'll be able to go back and forth on the 6 probably. Yeah, good fortunate hit on that ball. Looked like he hit that with a little bit of left-hand English when he shot the 4 ball. Probably thought it had a little angle and he was going to hold it straight to come down the left side of the table, but instead it came off and clipped the 5. But a couple good shots here. He's taking a look, making sure sees if he wants to just stun this ball in and play the 8 in the side. Make sure the 9 goes by the 10 ball, and yeah, he'll be out here. All right. Takes a 6-2 lead. Got another match starting on one of the other stream tables. This is table 18. You got Stephen Holm and Chris Rodriguez playing on table 6. And then on table 13, you have Dominic Daniels and Chandler Dakota. Dominic and Chandler, that's a B-side match. So the loser's out, winner moves on. And this match here, and then the Stephen Holm, Chris Rodriguez match are A-side matches. The only 2 A-side matches left. It's 2-2 with Stephen Holm and Chris Rodriguez. I didn't see what happened when I was clicking through. Chris had fouled and Stephen took ball in hand. So now he's trying to work it out from the 3. So see how that goes. Blake crushes the break again. He squats that cue ball in the spot on the table where none of the crossing balls or anything are hitting. Usually that's one of the big issues you have of your cue ball getting booted around is some of those crossing balls. But bank on the 1, and then your 4 is your only problem, child. Yeah. I was looking at that thinking safety might be the best idea just because, it's kind of a funny spot for the bank on the 1. Plus, you're forced into using the 3 to run down and break the 4, 7, 10 out. And you don't know what you're going to get after that. And it's just a sellout if you don't come out with a shot. So that's smart. Good safety. Gonna have to mass 8 down around 6 ball here. Yeah, good shot, Nick. I'm not sure it got past far enough for him to be able to. I mean, even if he can't see this to make it, he can swerve it a little or even jump it in. Yeah, he's just going to swerve it in. But we're in the same boat we're just in a second ago, right? That 4 ball. I mean, if he can cut this 2 ball in right here and go down and break that out, the 3's sitting in the pocket. He can make the 3 from anywhere. But yeah, I was gonna say, but the 9 ball is gonna cause some havoc with that. Yeah, he's in a bad spot here. He's gotta come up with a shot right here that's gonna, I mean, it's almost better instead of trying to run into that to like play down into an area down here so that he can play a safety, or play in an area down here so he can play a safety. Overhit that. You can still see the edge of it. So, you cut this 4, cue ball's coming off the 10, coming off. You can still get safe out of this. Oh, he just tried to hit it easy. Use the 10 ball. Well, I think he sold that out, though. It's hard to tell from here, but if he can see the edge of this 4, he can cut it. Stephen Holm took a 3-2 lead against Chris Rodriguez with the break now. He could see enough of it, but he chose to play safe, I believe. He might have just hit it thick. Wow. Curious if he's hooked by the point here. Sounds like BK is giving a little bit of training over there for somebody to jump on the excessive English setup we're commentating. So we'll be joined shortly by someone, I'm sure. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, it's a pretty big mistake by Nick. Either missing the 4, leaving Blake a chance, or playing that safety and not getting cover. Still no score of the Eric Vargas Stan Tarango match. Matt Van Claveren is up 3-1 against Will Totten. Stephen Folan's up 5-1 against Jason Jackson, so he's on the hill because it's race to 6. And of course, these 3 streamed matches are going. And it's not looking good for Nick. Looks like it's going to be Blake's going to get on the hill here and alternate break format with how these guys are breaking. It's not looking good at all. I see Chris Rodriguez on table against Stephen Holm trying to get out. He had a table to get out on, it looked like, and then now he's a little funny on the 5. He can make it, but shape to the 6 is going to be a little difficult. Let's see what he comes up with. Yeah, great shot. Just stunned to the short side. Nice shot, Blake. Yeah. Blake gets on the hill 7-2. Next break. Dominic Daniels is running out against Chandler, trying to get the first rack. Chris missed the 5 ball and rolled safe. So another one of the little hand waves. Yeah, he lost the break somehow. I'm not sure what he's changed, but he hasn't been breaking the best as this rack and the rack before it. He had to open with a safety there and didn't get it. So he'll probably be locked down behind this 3-4. Chandler got the first rack over there. He's up 1-0 against Dominic. How goes it? I can hear you. We'll have to let the chat let us know if they can hear you. So this match right here is table 18, so you can see it from the table setup you're at, right? Stephen Holmes getting out, going to make it 4-2. Hey, Chad, which table are you looking at right now on your stream? Thinking he's having some difficulties. So the winner of this match plays the winner of Stephen Holm and Chris Rodriguez for the hot seat. They'll be the final two players on the ace side. Um, yeah, I think Chad's on the wrong. He's watching the wrong table. He's got his mic set up for table 18, but he's watching table 6. Nice shot, Nick. Looks like he's gonna get out here. Heck yeah, get down there and watch it in real life. Legacy Billiards off market. Looks like Nick's gonna get out here, get 3, but looks like it's gonna be Blake's break. You got Dominic Daniels down 1-0 against Chandler, and he's at the table shooting at a 10 ball. It's a little long, but I was gonna say it's completely in his wheelhouse, but he missed it and left it for Chandler. So Chandler's probably gonna take a 2-0 lead there against Dominic. Yeah, Stephen Holm just running out over here, but clipped the 7 playing shape to it. So now he's in a funny spot. Nick gets out, so it's 7-3. Blake to break. And Holm just, gosh, man, just banks the 7 in and just stuns the cue ball just a little bit to get perfect shape on the 8. What a great shot. If you don't know already, I'm jumping between tables. I'm commentating on this Blake Baker Nick KRUGER match, but I'm bouncing around looking at the other ones. Want to try to keep you guys updated as much as possible. All right, Blake, let's see what you got. Crushes the break. And gets a favorable leave. Wide open table, so this could be bad for Nick. And he hangs the 2 ball. A little bit of a rush, giving Nick an opportunity to get another game with the break. All right, I got to ask the Chad if you guys are hearing Chad because I'm hearing Chad talking about Stephen Holm match here on the Blake Baker Nick Kruger match. Hey, Chad, can you hear me? All right. Nick's Nick's got four now. Maybe didn't forgot to update the stream, but Nick's actually got four now with the break. Crashes the break again. One funny, but he can bank this ball, maybe even play carom if he wants. Yeah, played the carom. Uh, well, I mean, it's not the best. He can cross bank this, or he can play it in the side off the eight. Um, yeah, that's what he's looking at. Side off the eight. It's probably easier to control for shape to the one or to the two as well. I hit the eight a little thick. I'm going to give Blake a chance. Blake has another chance here to finish this match out. Yeah, Stephen Folan beat Jason Jackson 6-2. Chandler is up 3-0 on Dominic. Matt Van Claveren is up 3-2 on Will Totten. Stephen Holm is up 6-2 on Chris Rodriguez. Eric Vargas and Stan Tarango still show their match going, but there's no match score for that. Neither one of those guys are keeping track there. The winner of Blake and Nick play the winner of Stephen Holm and Chris Rodriguez for the hot seat match. Right now, the winner of Chandler and Dominic will be playing Stephen Folan. And then the winner of Matt Van Claveren and Will Totten will be playing the winner of Eric Vargas and Stan Tarango. And those guys will all be in the 7th, 8th spot. So they'll be in the final 8. Yeah, there's a little backside on the 5 ball here. Question is, do you
unfortunately a little weak there, but
play shape to hold?
I think he just comes back and forth here. See what he does.
Do you play shape to hold into the window, or do you play shape to come back cross center to back cut the 8 in? He was looking at his window there. Oh, he missed the ball. And I don't think he left a window for Nick to be able to pocket this ball. He may have to jump it or kick off this end rail at it. Kicking down table this direction might be. So he's probably looking to see if the 8 ball goes in the side or the corner. See if he wants to come 2 rails at it or 1 rail. Man, he's really eyeballing this like he can do something with it through the 8-10. Wow. Yeah, a little bit more speed. It wouldn't have widened out as much, but he definitely didn't want to get fun into the 8. It left Blake a safety opportunity here. He can back bank this ball. That seems super aggressive because you got to try to make sure you get shaped to the 8 too. Seems fairly easy just to play the cue ball to the center of the table and have the 5 ball go to the center of the end rail. Just like that. He overhit it. Going to give Nick an opportunity to play a return safe. Overhit that ball, but clips the 8. And holds back a little, but leaves a window. Stephen Holmes on the hill against Chris Rodriguez, 7-2. Chris is at the table. But it's an ugly table, so not sure what the odds are of running out versus having to play some safeties here. Yeah, Blake plays a pretty good safety there. I mean, I don't think he can see this ball. I think his best route's going to be to try to do a kick and stick. Oops, funny angle there. But he wants to come off this and hit this ball full so that the cue ball stays back behind the 10-8 and he's sending the 5 ball off the rail and back to the center here. I don't think there's really any other good choices at this point that aren't, just a sellout. Chandler's up 5-0 on Dominic. Race to 6. It's a pretty dangerous territory for Dominic. It's something that's probably going to be pretty tough to overcome. So most likely Chandler's going to be moving on in that one. Oh, what a great shot. What a great shot. Speed was perfect. I mean, he's leaving Blake a 1-rail escape here. Blake's calling the 5 ball. Doesn't really have a lot of options for a safety, kick safe or anything. So he wants to pocket this ball. Yeah, he hit it with speed because he's hoping that if he doesn't pocket it, something good happens for him there. But if the 5 clears the 9, then Nick's most likely going to get out here. Get yet another game. Blake's been struggling a little bit to try to close this match out. Nick, like I said early on in this match, when Blake was stringing together some wins, that Nick's a seasoned player. He's been in these matches. He's been in lots of big tournaments all over the place. And he knows what his abilities are. He's never going to give up no matter what the score is because he knows he can put together a lot of good racks. So it's good to see a good match forming. And, I don't know how long it's been, but I see that Nick's playing with a carbon fiber. I know he had a cue that, remember him telling me once, it wasn't the fanciest, wasn't the most expensive, but it meant a lot to him because it's a cue that he had played with for many years and won lots of money and tournaments and everything else with it. But that might be the same cue. He might have just upgraded shafts. But Nick takes another game. Blake's break. The breaks were crushing early on, but both players' breaks have fallen off a little bit coming down the stretch here. Blake needs to have a good break here to be able to work out a rack and try to close this match. They haven't updated the score yet, but it is 7-5. He crushes the break, but he's got to get a good shot on the 1 here. Oh, yeah. But, just look at this. He's got a good shot at the 1 for the side. But the shape, where is he playing shape to be able to pocket this 2 ball? Does he have the angle to spin load this and have the cue ball come over here? Some left-hand English. I don't know. Cross bank, safety. All the options are open to him, but I don't like any of them. Yeah, he could swing it over. I'm not sure he can pocket the 2. It was a great try, though. He's hoping to get a little more bite and get the cue ball up in this range here. But he's looking at it like he can pocket that ball. Oh, overcut it and hit the nipple of the side pocket. He was playing shape to a similar spot anyways with the cue ball, so it's not that it was too devastating that it hit the point, because if it didn't hit the point, cue ball's traveling back up there anyways. I've seen Nick be very, very offensive in these situations here over the years, but You know, he knows he doesn't want to give Blake another shot, so he'll want to get out here. But at the same time, safety just seems like the higher percentage shot here. A wall of balls in the center to get cover from. Yeah. Just doesn't want to leave a window. He might have left a little bit of a window, the edge of the two. Gives Blake an opportunity to play the same safety back. He got down quick so he can clearly see the edge. Yeah, great shot. Yeah, Nick absolutely did not want to leave the edge of that ball. He's got to get a good clean hit here. This could be the match. He's looking to go 2 rails at it. I didn't see, but he's probably going to call the 6 ball in this bottom right pocket. Even if he's trying to do a kick safe or something, he's going to want to call the ball that might go just in case. He doesn't want to give Blake an option if the ball does slop in somewhere. All you spectators out there, let me know where you're watching from, who you're rooting on. Let me know if anybody has any action on this. Yeah, he's coming 1 rail at this one again. So try to pocket that ball, and then he can always kick or jump at the 3, but he wants to pocket this ball. Nice, smooth, straight stroke. No unnecessary English. Oh. Set it up. Yeah, Blake caught that a little thinner than he wanted, but he still got a shot here. Probably cut this in with a bunch of right-hand English and have the cue ball just come 3 rails back like this with a 4. Oh, you missed the 5 ball. What a great shot. I would have spin loaded myself, and that's difference between some of us and these guys that are just powerhouses, because I would have tried to spin load that to come off to that side rail again just to make sure I wasn't coming off and clipping the 5, getting funky. Tim, Spokane would do. I don't need to know where you're laying, but I appreciate it. Got some Nick fans out there. Both these guys are strong, talented players, so it's fun to see a good match, especially with the way this match started. Just felt like Nick was snake bitten. But, Blake's made a few mistakes he doesn't normally make and given Nick some opportunities, and Nick's capitalized on them like we expect. So Blake's taking a little extra time here. He knows how important this rack is. He wants to finish this match right now. The 6 ball's deep, so you could easily get funny off the cue ball here. So we'll clip the rail kind of funny. Yeah, so lots of times when they're that deep, you just want to play full into the ball and not use the rail and just control it with draw or whatever, just to eliminate, coming off funny, clipping it a little too thin and overrunning shape a ton. It's easier to control. This should be it. Yeah, pretty good. It's a good match. Stick around, guys. Legacy Billiards 509 on YouTube to be able to find the 3 live stream tables here. You can see who you want to watch. Watch the good matches. Watch your favorites. Great match. Blake's going to be moving on to play for the hot seat. Good job, Blake. For all the trials and tribulations that Nick went through at the beginning of that match, it was